It's Top Chat with Joe and Matt.
You actually did it.
I did.
Hello everyone, welcome to the third episode of Top Chat. My name is Matt, and joining me this week, as ever, is Joe.
Alright, mate. How's it
Alright,
going?
mate. Well done. There we go. It's good. How are you?
Not too bad, thanks.
Good.
Bit tired.
Bit tired.
Not hungover this week, so that's the first.
Is that a first?
It was the first, yeah.
The first week you were hungover as well? I know you
Yeah.
were last week, but...
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Well, that's good. I'm not hungover, as per usual. Although I am nervous because I'm getting a tattoo tonight.
Oh.
I know, yeah, my fourth one, so I shouldn't be nervous, but for some reason I really am. More nervous for this one than I was about the first one, than I was about the other two.
Yeah, I can't come there to hold your hand, unfortunately.
No, you've got to go to work, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're actually recording this episode a bit earlier than we would like to, so we might miss... During the day. It's currently 1 o'clock in the afternoon, which is a bit early, because obviously there might still be some news stories that break.
Oh, of course. America being like 8 hours behind,
well,
so
you
they're all asleep.
Yeah,
so.
they're all asleep right now, so we might miss some stuff, but you'll have to forgive us, because, well, we work full-time because we have to pay for things, because we're adults. That's
One
how
day,
life works.
maybe we'll have a Patreon.
Stop
Put it on Patreon!
Right, so coming up, we're obviously going to read some news. I am in a minute. It's my turn to read the news this week because we argue about whose method is better. I feel like you read press releases, whereas I'm just kind of I'm gonna wing it because I'm just that guy.
Well,
I'm just that guy. I fly by the seat of my pants. I like that expression.
I've never heard that expression.
I've got a rather... Have you not? Fly by
No.
the seat of your pants?
No.
No, okay. Well, it means that you're a bit, you're a bit out there, off the cuff.
Okay.
Which is not true for most of my life, but things like this, it is for some reason. I've also got a fairly interesting article that I want to go through. Does that make sense? Yeah, that I read on IGN earlier, because basically there's shit all in the news. So I was sort of...
Imagine that. January.
Quiet
month. Who would have
Quiet
thought?
month for news.
What a great time to start a gaming podcast.
Yeah.
It's like no news.
We're geniuses. We've got nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
But we are actually going to be talking later on about the Star Wars game that was cancelled by EA because they are money hungry. Insert swear word here, I guess.
Unless you want to sponsor us, EA, then we'll be the money hungry. Yeah.
EA don't sponsor anything. EA sponsor cancellations of jobs and AAA titles. Anyway, we'll get onto that. But for now, what have you been playing? What have you been up to this week?
Well, of course, I'm still on Horizon Zero Dawn.
Of course. Guess what I'm still playing?
Assassin's Creed.
Yes.
Funny that.
Odyssey, yeah.
Well, seeing as we are full-time workers, we can't just power through games.
I feel like we're
we
mentioning
used to.
this too much now. We're kind of being like, people give us money so we can do this. We've got no audience. We can't be asking for this stuff
I'm
yet.
not asking for money. I'm just explaining why we're still on these
All right,
games.
okay, yeah, fair enough. We don't have the time.
Assassin's Creed is ridiculously big. I'm right at the end of Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, well done.
But literally right at the end. I'm just sort of on that stage cleaning up side missions and
the mop up.
Yeah, like filling out the map and doing all the little things on there. I'm just trying to decide whether to platinum it, to be honest. It seems like an attainable platinum.
Oh, I didn't think you were cared.
I don't
you
really
were
care.
cared. I didn't think you cared.
Normally
about
I don't care, because normally like the game would be like complete it on hard. And I'm a
Yeah,
shit gamer.
yeah,
I
yeah.
am a shit gamer. So I do like normal. I just like playing it how it was intended to be played.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is why I stay away from like any Dark Souls, Bloodborne.
Oh, fair enough. But then you could argue that they're intended to be difficult, so...
Yeah, exactly. That's why I stay away from them. It's hard.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, fair enough.
And then like most trophy lists have like online component.
Yeah, they do.
The only one with this one that I really don't, which is stopping me from doing it, is I think because most of the trophies are hidden actually, so I had to look it up.
Oh. Spoilers.
One of them's like do these challenges and get 3 stars on all of them, which I'm normally pretty shit at.
Yeah, they're kind of annoying trophies like that.
Yeah, I've enjoyed the story.
Good.
It's been pretty good. I'm sort of ready to be done with it a little bit, move on to something else. But
Well, it's been a couple of weeks.
A couple of days, and then I'll be done.
So next week, watch this space.
What?
In this intro
However-
section, Joe will have a new "What I've been playing this week" answer.
I do have a new what I've been playing this week answer this week.
On your Switch?
No.
No? What else have you been playing?
I played the Resident Evil 2 one-shot demo. The half an hour
you
demo.
did it! I didn't
did
know
it.
if you'd be into that. I forgot about it, to be honest.
Yeah. I downloaded it, played it just before I went to bed, which was a
Good idea.
good idea.
Yeah,
I
'cause-
am I hate horror films.
I was going to say, you're a pussy, aren't you?
I'm not a pussy.
You don't watch scary things. You don't like scary things.
No. I fail to see the enjoyment in scary things. It's like
the adrenaline.
No, it's like people who like really spicy food. What's the point? What is the point? You're just hurting yourself for no reason.
So you just don't like me then, is what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
No, I'm not.
Well, and that's the end of this podcast.
Yeah, thanks for listening. No, I don't like really spicy things, but I like the challenge of maybe like...
No, what's the point of the challenge?
I don't know, just because it's
Have you ever had a really nice korma?
Who hasn't?
Exactly.
That's all I would eat until I
best.
turned 14 and realised, I've got taste buds, I should probably use them.
I'm turning 24 next week, and that's still all I eat from an Indian.
That confused me then, because I thought, no, you're not, you're turning 25, but I realise I'm the oldest.
Yeah, well done.
Going back to the actual topic of platinum trophies, the only difficult platinum...
we're just going to go over my Resident Evil, are we?
Oh, yeah, shit. Well, alright, I don't care about... Well, I do, because I want to know about it, but my only difficult platinum that I've got, because I've got Rocket League, Destiny... Rhyme and Modern Warfare Remastered, which is complete the game on veteran difficulty, which isn't actually that hard, but then it's like find all the intel pieces and do all these like secret things within missions. Luckily, no online component. Even though I probably would have been able to do it, I imagine just to be arseholes, they could have been like, reach 10th prestige, and then it's like, good, well, there's 30 days of my life.
I think it was just like the original trophy list though, wasn't it?
There weren't trophies for Call of Duty 4. Trophies hadn't been implemented.
Or maybe achievements then on
I think there were
Xbox
achievements
360.
on Xbox, because they had achievements pretty
remember.
much from the start, didn't they?
Yeah, because I remember trying to do the Call of Duty games on like veteran difficulty.
Trophies
and I
start?
sucked at it. I think it was around the time PS Plus came out,
Yeah.
just around that hack.
I
I think it was
feel like-
2009.
I feel like it was 2008, but
Well.
let's find out.
Here you go. I bet you £100.
Launch. Is that the right word? PlayStation Trophies launch. When did Sony implement trophy support on Reddit? Reddit always has the answers.
2006.
2006? Oh, for God's sake, take that off the table. The first game to have trophies was Super Stardust HD. Oh no, the second half of 2008. It wasn't compulsory until 2009, so we were kind of both right.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Anyway.
Yeah, go back to your Resident Evil, because
Back to
give a
Resident
bit
Evil.
of context for those that don't know. This was a demo that was made available.
Yeah, by Capcom.
Literally, you could play it once, and then it would erase itself from your hard drive, or what was the deal?
I've heard that you can go back and play it again, but you go back from the start. So you basically walk into the police station, and then you've got half an hour to get as far as you can, essentially.
So you don't even finish it. You literally have 30 minutes to just...
it's literally you pause and like if you go press pause, it will show you how long you've played.
Oh,
and then,
shit.
like, you'll just
That's
be-
rough.
Well, it's like how you demos used to be, wasn't it?
Yeah, I
It
guess,
was like
yeah.
the timer.
Was it good?
I enjoyed it.
I've only ever played Resident Evils 4 and then the VR one, which I didn't think was great because it hurt my head, as I
Yeah.
discussed last week. But Resident Evil 4 was decent.
I never played any of the Resident Evil games.
Surprise.
I've seen Resident Evil 2. Funnily enough, it's a graphical improvement, this one.
Is it?
The remake.
Really?
It
Well, it's
is.
only been about 15
Yeah.
years.
Well, they've changed quite a lot about it, but it still
probably more than that, actually.
looks and feels, well, not feels, but, you know, it's still got that atmosphere. Because Resident Evil 2 originally was like one of those early PlayStation games where the camera was static.
Yeah, it was fixed angles, wasn't it, to make it
Yeah.
more atmospheric.
Just like, was it Metal Gear?
Metal Gear,
Metal Gear
used to,
Solid,
yeah, it did.
But yeah, this one was sort of like a third-person kind of action game, but it was like the movement was kind of slow but really smooth, which was intentional because then like you're trying to run away from like zombies or whatever, and like you're just getting messed up because you can't move properly. But I've got many a notes.
Oh, you've prepared
I
notes
have.
as like a mini review of a 30-minute demo.
Well, I'm not
No,
gonna
you
read
go
them all.
ahead. I'm not.
Wow.
That sounded like I was taking the piss. I mean, I was a little bit, but carry on. Go ahead.
So I've never got into the Resident Evil franchise, but knowing Capcom, I feel like there's these bits of humour, dark humour that's thrown in. Some humorous moments.
Some humorous
Yeah,
humour.
there was a funny bit, which I connected to this zombie on a
There was
deep level.
an funny bit.
As
Okay, sorry, go on.
he was this big fat boy.
Is it the guy who's got like a ripped vest on or whatever?
I don't think so.
With
I
the,
think
oh
it's
no, I'm
just-
thinking of the chainsaw guy.
And then
Right, yeah, sorry.
he's like shaking the vending machine as you turn the corner. I appreciate that.
Okay, so you like that bit? That was
I
your
did like
favourite
that
bit.
But yeah, the atmosphere in that game is like creepy. Like it does like the
Funnily
classic
enough,
things.
it's
of,
Resident
like,
Evil.
you turn a corner and then like something moves. But
Nice.
there was this one bit that made me shit myself. I was running away from a zombie because I was low on ammo. Like ammo's so scarce in that game.
Yep.
And like
Survival horror.
zombies are sponges. Like you have to shoot them at least 3 or 4 times in the head to get
Yep.
them down. So I was running up this corridor and then I see a shadow of a person. I'm like, that's the only way I can go. So I slowly look around the corner and it's like a little statue on someone's desk with a light behind it. So I was bricking it the whole time every time I saw a
Jakes.
shadow. What else have we got?
I was going to say that's a lot of notes.
Well, I've gone through most of it.
Is this
Just in
all
that-
about Resi?
Yeah.
You have literally written a little review, haven't
Well,
you?
I just wanted to like keep my thoughts down. Now that we're doing this, I just wanted to, you know, get the thoughts out of my head. Oh, what I did like the aiming system. Oh, Doris. The aiming system. So like you can't look down sights. So it's like the reticle, like in Call of Duty when you're like
Yeah. When you're hip firing.
hip firing. Yeah, that's the word. So it's you sort of aim at the zombie's head, and like the bullets aren't very accurate. Like they're sort of maybe spinning off somewhere.
Right.
But if you
That would annoy
stand
the
still,
hell out of me. Okay, yeah.
the reticle closes in.
Very good. First shot accuracy.
So
I like that.
you've got a choice: stand still, accuracy, or like
Run
run
and
and gun
gun.
and like miss everything and waste all your bullets.
Tough choice.
Quite tactical. I didn't really know what was going on. It seemed like quite weirdly open, but then forcing you down a path. It
Yeah.
didn't really tell you what to do, which I kind of liked. But
That sounds good because that kind of sounds like it's giving you the thought of your head of like, oh my god, I need to make this decision of where's safety, but then the game's also telling you like, nah, you need to go this way,
Yeah.
but subliminally. Okay,
Yeah.
that's quite a high compliment, I would say, for
yeah, I
for
actually
a horror survival.
quite enjoyed it.
Is that
because-
literally all you've got to say? Because those notes looked far more
Well,
comprehensive.
no, that was basically notes. That's what, like 100 words. I said that most of that.
You said that. I said
Let's
these
see.
words.
Anything else? No.
Anything else of worth? Nope.
Oh no, I do remember the gore. So good, so good.
Gory?
Yeah,
Okay.
like because you shoot a zombie in the head about 3 times, little holes appear in their head and stuff, and like you can dismember limbs, things like that.
Nice.
I like
Well,
a bit of gore.
Who
I don't
doesn't?
really.
Speaking of a bit of gore,
Scares me.
should we move on to the news? Because there's a very gory story that we can talk about.
The gory story.
The gory story. It's not a gory story per se, but basically what's occurring? Well, Mortal Kombat 11 has been announced. Have you ever played or been interested in Mortal Kombat?
No,
Do you know about it?
I know that they're the same people who made Injustice, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, and I played Injustice mainly for the story. I put it on like ridiculously easy difficulty because I can't do fighting games. Like, just cannot.
Fighting games are tough, yeah.
Especially, like, I can understand like the punch and kick and like crouch kick,
Well,
jump
yeah,
kick,
that's the thing,
But then
they're
as soon as
easy
it gets
to-
into like combos and
Easy to grasp, difficult to master.
yeah,
Well, Mortal Kombat is a hyper-violent series, and it's now obviously going into its 11th instalment. Do you know about the fatalities? I feel like you must, because
I've
they're
seen,
like
like,
famous
yeah.
or infamous, I should say.
because it goes like really gory and like
Yeah,
shows
yeah.
bones breaking and
Oh
stuff.
god, yeah. Well, they've ramped it up to 11. So
Really?
I watched a trailer for literally just for the fatalities earlier, and there's one where I'm pretty sure it was Sub-Zero has frozen Scorpion into like a block of ice, rips through his stomach, grabs his spinal cord, pulls it out of his body, bringing his entire head with it, and then like swings the spinal cord like a rope and slams the head through an icicle spear.
Love it.
That was the most memorable one. There was one of someone ripping a guy's face off, like just the skin. One where there were these blood shards like coming down from the roof and just like completely messing someone up. It's the ultimate gory, like shocker game, and it's moving into its 11th installment. And that's the
11th.
news. And Ronda Rousey is doing a voice of a character called Sonya Blade.
That sounds great.
Yeah, that was kind of the main talking point of it, but I don't think either of us
That's
know
so-
much about UFC.
No, not really. That's so weird. Just getting like Ronda Rousey to do a voice, someone who's not famous for their voice.
Yeah, I
don't know.
suppose.
Bit of a weird one, but
You can see the integration of like gaming and mainstream society though, or whatever. And I mean, it's a good link having someone like Ronda Rousey voicing a Mortal Kombat character. Anyway, so that wasn't what I was going to lead the news with, to be honest, but it was a nice link, so I thought, why not?
Segue.
The main bit of news is that Machinima is gone.
Oh,
well, it's not
no,
gone.
After not being relevant for
Not
about
being
10
relevant,
years.
but still.
It had its place in time.
It did, but it's now been completely privatised, by which I mean all of their videos have been made private. Machinima, for those that don't know, is a YouTube channel which kind of created this. Well, Machinima means that you make live action, quote unquote, films from gameplay, or like from. I don't think it has to be games, but in gaming it's gameplay. So it's not from the cutscenes. It's not something you've like edited yourself. It's literally just you record, like Red vs Blue. It's literally just Halo characters walking around the multiplayer maps, and then they screen cap it and narrate it as if it's them talking. That's basically all Red vs Blue is, and that's what a Machinima is. And Machinima was this channel that started in what, like 2006 maybe, 2007? I'm not really sure.
Like that.
Popularised, Red vs Blue. There were Call of Duty ones, Gears of War. It was a massive, massive deal. I think at one point it was the number one most subscribed channel on YouTube.
Oh, probably. Like, because it was all the
it was definitely the
creators
biggest.
were making for it rather than having their own channels.
Yeah, definitely.
So they were like, they signed up, got a contract, got a certain amount of money per views, whatever.
Yeah.
What, like C-Nanas, Hutch, what was it, Stark? Some other guy.
Don't know. But yeah, Machinima
I found,
birthed a lot of...
I still watch a YouTuber from Machinima called Call Me Kevin. Don't know if you've seen him. He's had a bit of a rebirth recently.
Yeah, is he the guy that makes like the Harry Potter, but it's everything's fucked?
So he was.
I watched one of them recently. They're really funny.
He's hilarious. He was the guy who made How to Annoy in Call of Duty.
Oh.
And he put them on Machinima. Then he sort of had his own channel, did a bit of Minecraft, things like that.
Of course.
And then he just stopped. And then now he started a channel again.
And he plays shit games and takes the piss.
Yeah, and he's got like he started from like 1,000 and he's got up to like 1 million again. Like he's got 2 channels that he started from scratch. It's impressive. He's a very funny person.
Yeah, he seems to be. But,
I am a traffic cone.
And that's lost on me, but I'm sure someone will have laughed. So basically, what's happened is Machinima got taken over by Otter Media, who own Rooster Teeth and Fullscreen, who I'm sure everyone pretty much knows. Rooster Teeth, especially.
Red vs Blue.
I was quite proud of the use of this word, so I am actually going to do a bit of a U and read off screen, but it was basically a cavalcade of companies, taking each other over, including Warner Brothers, AT&T, just everyone owns everyone, and now Machinima is gone, and I think the Machinima employees are now going to go and work at Fullscreen.
I have a question.
I might not have the answer.
I think you do. What does cavalcade mean?
Cavalcade, it's like a procession.
Oh, fantastic. What does procession mean?
What? Like a funeral procession, like an ongoing thing. It's like one thing after another. It's a procession.
Wow.
So it was one thing after another of companies.
Oxford English Dictionary,
it is,
the
podcast.
Where we're just going to read out from the dictionary. That would be a great podcast.
That would be a terrible podcast. Just go and watch Countdown.
Countdown's great.
Just exclusively watch Dictionary Corners bit when Susie Dent does her Origins of Words.
Oh, I love Susie Dent. What
There's
a
an
woman.
I never thought we'd ever mention Susie Dent on Top Chat, but there we go. Yeah. She is great. You know, because I'm stupid and think I'm funny, when I take my glasses off and I have dents where these bits, whatever they're called, the rests have been, I call them Susies. I've got Susies on my nose. Susie Dents.
Time to move on.
Or Harvey's. You could say Harvey Dent, but I prefer Susie Dent, obviously. Who doesn't? The final bit of news, like actual news, is that Studio MDHR, catchy name, are making another game, apparently. They're the people that made Cuphead. Yeah, Cuphead's sick.
I've never played it. Apparently it's hard as balls.
Yes.
I mean, it's Xbox exclusive, so I'm not a loser.
But it looks so cool. Like, that art style is amazing.
Insane.
It's like a sort of 30s, 40s, almost like early Disney kind of thing.
It's like one of those cartoons where someone's standing still but everything's moving.
Yeah, everything's jumping about. And it's equal parts adorable and then terrifying.
Yeah.
Like when the characters get angry or something, they have like the sharpest teeth and like the angriest eyes or whatever. But yeah, they're making another game. There's a bit of Cuphead DLC that's coming out soon. And then they're making a new one. They don't know what it's going to be about, but it supposedly will retain the art style, but have different gameplay and probably won't be as hard.
Okay.
Gamers everywhere rejoice.
Well, games have got easier.
Explain.
Like, think of the games back on like, I don't know, Super Nintendo, things like that, where like you can't really save the game.
Yeah.
And like platformers.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Whereas like everything's sort of like got this open world thing, and you've got like a long tutorial, and you've got like autosave. And...
yeah. Okay, fair enough. Interesting point. Maybe we can venture down that one day. But that's pretty much it for the news.
I imagine that's going to be an Xbox exclusive as well. I think.
Hopefully not.
Well, I think they're owned by Microsoft.
Oh.
So, although Microsoft don't seem to care about where they put their games, so maybe.
Maybe. We live in hope.
One day.
But yeah, that's basically it for what's occurring this week, because the answer to what's occurring is shit all. But I did read, as I mentioned earlier, a very interesting article on IGN where they listed maybe about 20 odd films that are in development or supposedly in development that are all based on games. So, i.e. something like Lara Croft, I feel like that's very self-explanatory. And I cherry-picked a few of the interesting ones, some of which we know already. But just to quickly read through the ones that I thought were worth mentioning. Detective Pikachu, I mean, everyone knows.
When I watched that trailer,
actually, what are your thoughts?
I didn't know if I hated it or loved it. It was
I think I hate
one.
it.
Like,
why is Pikachu so fluffy? He's a mouse.
Yeah.
I know they've got fur, but it's flat, isn't it? They're not meant to be fluffy.
I'm not really necessarily bothered about the art style.
And why is he like a 30-year-old man? Why is it Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, that was my sort of problem with it.
I know he's funny.
It's just Deadpool.
Yeah, it's going to be Deadpool as Pikachu.
Yeah. But we'll see.
You watched the trailer, right? Mr. Mime is terrifying.
Yeah.
Haunts your dreams.
Some of the Pokemon look terrible, and then like some of the like, oh, that looks
I
really
think
good.
Pikachu looks cute, but why is he so fluffy? He needs a brush. Anyway, moving on. More movies that are in development or supposedly in development. Assassin's Creed 2. I haven't seen the first one.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
I watched like the first little bit, and I was like, this bores me.
I was in Australia when it was released. Intended to go to the cinema to see it because I also like Fassbender as an actor. I think he's quite good. I've just never got around to seeing it, and it's not on like Netflix or I don't think it is. I might look later, but yeah, there's another one coming, which I'm somewhat surprised at because I don't think it went down that well, did it? Critically or box officially. Oh well. Firewatch. That's a great shout. That's a brilliant shout. Jess, hurry up and freaking play it.
Well,
it's a great game. It's a phenomenal. I love Firewatch. I love it. I'm surprised I didn't give it an honourable mention the other week.
The art style, that makes that game a lot for me.
Yeah. He's got chody thumbs, Henry.
He does.
Very chody thumbs.
He's a very chody man by the seams of it. But yeah.
It's a good art style.
I'm interested. Will that be animated live action? Because I think live action would take it away from any video game sort of attachment it has. Like, people would go watch it not realising what it actually
they wouldn't
is,
know what it was.
Because I mean, it's one of those games that's, is it a game, is it not a game? Because it's like sort of walking.
It's a walking simulator where you occasionally press buttons.
And if you think it's not a game, you're wrong.
I agree. But it is a bloody good game, either way, and I think a film is a good idea. Apparently there's 2 Call of Duty films in the works, supposedly being directed by the guy that directed Sicario, which is apparently quite a good action film. Haven't seen it, wouldn't know. I'd like one directed by... his name's literally just popped out of my head. The guy that directed Rogue One, who directed The Raid, which is that Malaysian all-out action film, which is incredibly good. And then Rogue One is, of course, the best Star Wars film. He's Welsh. I feel like it's Gareth something, but that might just me being stereotypical. Anyway, you look that up. I'll keep going. Heavy Rain, kind of like Firewatch, decent story, would probably make for a good film. Kane and Lynch. The game that probably should have just been a film all along.
The game that, was 10 years old at this point?
Probably about that, yeah.
15 years old?
But the story of Kane and Lynch is such a good idea for a film. Gareth Edwards. I was right. I wasn't racist. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he did Rogue One and The Raid, didn't he? Good director. The Last of Us, same motif, good story, would make for a good film. Portal. We love Portal, as we've discussed. It would be interesting to see that as a film, because I can see it being made as some kind of like breakout film, like where you're just following Shell through being captured, and like maybe it starts off the film and she's a little girl with her family, and then she's taken away and taken to Aperture, and then next thing you know, she's excuse me, like a 20-year-old girl with a portal gun and fighting her way out of this evil lab with Cave
story.
Johnson. And yeah, I think that'd be
funny.
quite cool.
Get Stephen Merchant back.
Yes, definitely. Oh my
That'd be
god,
good.
definitely. Maybe he can direct it.
I think.
Please don't move on. I've got an
No,
order.
I was going to talk about Portal, but I completely forgot what I was going to say. So that's good.
I think that
Yeah.
mild stroke. It might come back to you. Uncharted, supposedly in the works.
Well, that's had about like 3 directors come and go now.
Yeah.
But did you see the fan film?
No.
That was so good.
Really?
So good.
Where's it on? Where can I
YouTube.
watch it? Okay, I might watch that.
Is it Nathan Fillion or something?
Nathan Fillion is
the guy
an actor, yes.
Who's in Firefly or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays...
He's the voice of Cade Six in Destiny as well.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, he plays...
Well, he was. He's dead now.
Nathan Drake.
Spoilers. He played Nathan Drake.
Yeah, in this fan
That's
film.
a really, really good casting choice,
Really
actually.
good. I do like the idea of Tom Holland.
I don't. He's too young. Drake's like in his 30s.
I think this is supposed to be like... Because we've got Drake's story in the films. We've got his like 30s to 40s.
Right, so you reckon this might bridge
This
the
is gonna
gap
be
between
like,
the stuff that we saw in 4 as him as a
Exactly. We
young
do go
boy.
back sometimes. But then I think because Tom Holland, like... Because Nathan Drake will be in the middle of a fight scene and he's similar to like Spider-Man, and then he's like just sort of makes a joke. He's like, "Oh, that was close," as he almost gets like shot
Cracking
in the head.
wise.
Yeah. So,
I haven't seen the Spider-Man films with Tom Holland. Films? Is there 1 or 2?
There's one. Second one's coming out.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
haven't
a trailer,
seen
but
it.
he's also in the Avengers films and stuff.
Oh, I'm not interested.
You're wrong.
Either way, I'm sure he does a better job than Andrew Garfield did. Because that film was awful. Even though it had Emma Stone. I like Andrew Garfield and I like Emma Stone a lot.
He's too cool to be...
He's far too cool to be Spider-Man, yeah. Far too cool.
It's like, oh, look at me, I'm a nerd with my skateboard and my Vans.
Yeah, and
my
quiff.
one-strap backpack. Yeah,
He's very good in The Social Network. I would say he's arguably better than Jesse Eisenberg. And I love Jesse Eisenberg, especially in that film. But I think Andrew Garfield's very good. Anyway, not a film podcast. What are we like? What am I like? 3 weird ones, starting from probably least weird to most weird. Mario. Does it need
Mario
a film?
Films before.
Has there?
I think like TV films. There's been TV shows as well. Cartoons.
I didn't know that. We don't need a Mario film, as far as I'm concerned. Also, is it going to be animated? Presumably.
I hope so. That'd be fucking terrifying if not.
Yeah, just some short, fat Italian man wearing red overalls. No, sorry, red shirt and overalls. Anyway, yeah, I feel like that would just be a bit weird. Kind of can't really separate these two, so either way, Fruit Ninja. How and what and why?
Well, that's going to be a like university rated.
I feel like that's going to be the Angry Birds movie again, but at least Angry Birds has quote unquote characters like the birds.
Yeah, but
and
it's
the
literally
pigs.
going to be targeted at kids.
But
like,
what's this? How do you make a story out of swiping
fruit?
a game that was also popular like 5 years ago?
Well, they've got the Emoji Movie as well.
Yeah, but again, you can see them as
little
little characters. You can see them as actual like.
Yeah. Well, maybe there's going to be the Fruit Ninja, like the character.
Oh, the Fruit Ninja. He goes around just hacking up watermelons.
Killing vegans.
Either way, I think there's very minimal plot to be like actually made from that. And similarly, Tetris. Apparently, there's going to be a Tetris film. From what I read on IGN, the guy that's supposedly put forward the idea wants to make a trilogy of like sci-fi Tetris-themed films. How again and why? It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, that's
so off this list. I think
there's some that could be brilliant, like Firewatch and Kane and Lynch.
5 of these films will be released.
Okay, well, we know Detective Pikachu.
Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah. Probably an Call of Duty film.
The Last of Us.
Okay, The Last of Us. I would say there's going to be a COD film.
Call of Duty and
4.
Uncharted. I think that's
Okay,
it. I don't
5.
think any of these others.
You're going for 2 Naughty Dog games. You're going for Last of Us and Uncharted.
Well, they're the
pinnacle,
they're the pinnacle of storytelling in video games.
Even though Neil Druckmann has said that if they ever do make a Last of Us film, he doesn't want them to use the script he made because he was so upset with it. And he said that late last year.
So?
No, I don't
It's because he can write for video games. They're a different thing.
Maybe. But anyway, I think that was pretty much it for the for like the current news, but then
I've got one other question on this.
what on the films?
I'm doing your thing. I'm coming up with some questions on the spot.
Okay, I like it. Go on.
Out of those,
Yeah.
which one? Say if all of them came out.
Yeah.
The highest IMDb rating.
Portal.
Portal.
Yeah, it's got the most unique sort of idea behind it. I think Kane and Lynch would just be another kind of run-of-the-mill good action film. It would be like any Gerard Butler film. Like little substance, but it will be a good... Like imagine, actually, that's quite a good shout. You could have... Which one's the kind of the short one? Lynch? No, I can't remember. You could have like Gerard Butler and then maybe someone like Bruce Willis play Kane and Lynch and just go into banks and shoot everyone. It'd be amazing.
I'm going to say...
But it would be, yeah, go on.
Assassin's Creed 2. Because...
What? Hang on. You think it's going to be reviewed the best?
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're about to say. Go on.
Like the first game.
Yep.
They're like, oh, not really sure about this. Got some good ideas. The second one, get Ezio in. I don't even know if the first one was out.
No, the first one's not.
Just
out.
a separate thing.
It's a new character.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Just the second one is maybe going to be better. Maybe that's how Assassin's Creed works.
Maybe. I feel like Portal is a unique enough idea to work well as both film and game. I mean, it works very well as a game. There's no reason.
Oh, I've just had an interesting idea.
Go on.
So Heavy Rain.
Mm-hmm.
Jason. I can't remember the studio's name.
Quantic Dream.
Quantic Dream.
What's his name? Cage. David Cage.
David Cage. Yeah. Apparently a bit of an arsehole. No, I'm not going to pass judgment because I don't actually know.
Just have, but won't pass judgment. Apparently an arsehole.
No. Anyway, that's not my point.
Sorry, David.
So, please love us. I love the new one with the robots that I haven't played yet.
Oh, Detroit, yeah, it doesn't interest
Actually,
me.
no,
Sorry.
That doesn't really interest me. I'm just waiting for it to be cheaper.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Heavy Rain, right? Not a cinema release.
Straight to DVD.
No, straight to Netflix. Bandersnatch.
Like a Bandersnatch style.
Because that whole thing is about choice. That whole game is about choice.
Yeah, but then I feel like it wouldn't be too far removed from actual Heavy Rain. So what's the point?
Well, it could be. It can be a completely different story.
But then it wouldn't be Heavy Rain.
Well, they're not just going to remake the story of Heavy Rain because everyone's got a different ending than Heavy Rain. No, it's not.
Well, you could choose the most.
They're just going to use
the best ending.
IP.
The IP. They're going to use. Well, okay. I mean, another quick look. I'd like a Firewatch film just because I think there's a really interesting story. You've played Firewatch, haven't you?
I have.
I was about to spoil the game then, but I won't. The ending is somewhat disappointing.
It was.
But I think for all the right reasons. Because it makes you feel disappointed, not in the sense of, oh, that was not a good ending. Disappointed in the sense that it's not what you want to happen. Which I think is quite a good artistic choice. Any more to say on that? I feel like that was quite a fun little thing, actually. That worked out better than
segment.
A fun little thing. Good England. Last week, we narrowly missed by a day. Literally, probably by about 12 hours.
I think we've done that every week. Now.
Tuesdays
like, tonight, there's going to be like, I don't know, GTA 6 is going to be announced, PlayStation 5 is going to be announced, and Trump is going to stream Fortnite. I don't know.
Trump and Ninja streaming Fortnite.
He just builds a wall. I'm building the wall.
That was not a bad impression.
That sort of went a bit Schwarzenegger.
A little bit, yeah.
Build the wall.
You kind of need to go a bit like... Hang on. I feel like I can do a Trump. I am the greatest president of the United States of America.
That just sounds like any president. That sounds like Clinton.
Not like Barack, though. He was charismatic.
He was.
Anyway, not a political podcast.
Not yet.
So the day after we... not yet. No, not ever. Definitely not ever. The day after we recorded last week, EA cancelled the Star Wars open world game. Originally, it was a linear shooter directed by Amy Hennig. That is how you say her name, isn't it? I'm not actually sure. Indeed. She's the woman who directed Uncharted, so she's obviously very good,
Uncharted
knows what she's doing.
3.
To be, I was going to say to be specific then.
She was like the head for Uncharted 4, and then they like left in like some bit of a
probably to go and do this. Maybe to go and work with EA and Visceral.
And then Neil Druckmann took over.
Oh, good. Well, I've lost my train of thought now. Anyway, yeah. So it was meant to be a linear shooter. Meant to be a linear shooter developed by Visceral Games, but then EA, the bastards at EA, closed Visceral Games in October of 2017.
They did.
And EA Vancouver took over the project. They completely scrapped it and rebooted it as an open world game, which you probably think is a terrible idea, and to be honest, I kind of do as well.
They kept some assets. Like they were like, oh, we're sort of cancelling this one, and then we're moving.
Well, supposedly they didn't. I think new light has been shed on this since the cancellation of the latest game, saying that they did literally start from scratch. So it's 2 Star Wars games cancelled within the space of pretty much 2 years. Well, no, a year.
Yeah.
So October 2017 to January 2019. Yeah, just over a year. But Vancouver took it over. EA Vancouver. They were going to make it an open world game, and then EA said, no, we don't want that because it's going to take too long to develop. It's going to take up loads of our calendar, and we can't monetize it. So they've scrapped it, and they're hoping to release a Star Wars related game in late 2020, supposedly around the time that we might see next gen consoles, which I think is a bit sooner than I would have guessed.
What, next gen?
Yeah, next year. I feel like I've only had my PS4 for. I think I robbed all of this from Kotaku,
Yeah, because this is Jason Schreier. He knows. He knows.
You're obsessed with... Oh, yeah, that's another thing that I'm going to not do in the news that you do, is give people credit, because fuck it.
Okay.
Reuters, let's face it, if we're going to give people credit, you have to go to Reuters, because Reuters make all the news. But it's not as if
Jason Schreier.
Okay, apart from Jason Schreier. But if you watch BBC News, they don't sit there and go, oh, earlier on, The Guardian said that Jeremy Corbyn's a cunt. Like, oh, my God. I need to stop saying that word.
You're demonetising us.
Oh, everyone's just turned it off. You know what I mean? Like, no one actually gives them the credit that maybe...
Yeah, I know.
Because it all comes from
I just
Reuters.
want to be a respected journalist.
Oh, I might cut that. I hate the fact that I just drop that word all the time now.
Well, you cut what you want.
No, I probably won't. I'm too lazy.
You can't.
That's basically... Thank you. I now feel better. That's basically the story. And we were going to chat about it a bit, weren't we?
We are.
Because we're both Star Wars fans. There's actually a Star Wars poster on this. Is that yours?
It's mine, yeah.
It's a retro...
Japanese one.
For episode 4, is that?
Must be, yeah.
Yeah, because Ben's there, yeah.
R.I.P. in peace.
Yeah, absolutely. Episode 4, probably the weakest of the original trilogy. Before we discuss this, actually, that is a hot take. Would you like to discuss your favourite Star Wars films in order?
Want me to do them in order?
Yeah. I don't know if I've got a specific order, but I reckon I could. The best one's Rogue One. The best Star Wars film is Rogue One. And I will hear no other... Well, I will hear other arguments, but...
Sorry, I didn't realise we were counting those. All right.
Yeah, we're counting all of them.
I'm just going to do this quickly, just for the sake of time. 6, Rogue One, 4, 5, 3, Solo, 1, 2, 8.
But what? The Last Jedi is the worst one?
Yeah, I hate it.
Why?
I'm not going to end into it.
Okay, I think that's not a bad little summary, but I would probably say Rogue One, 5, 6, 4, 7, 8.
I didn't even put in 7, I don't think.
3, oh well, too late. 3, Solo, 1, 2.
Yeah, 2's the worst.
2's
shocking.
An awful,
the haircuts in
film.
that film as well.
Oh, just atrocious.
Poor Ewan McGregor.
The reason why that's the worst film is because it's got the most screen time of Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman, who are the least charismatic actors. And I know Natalie Portman's gone on to do like good things like Black Swan or whatever, but I don't think she's very good. Hayden Christensen is an absolute cardboard box of an actor. They have no chemistry. And for most of that film, it's the two of them going, oh, I love you, but we can't be together. Also, she's like 20 years older than him, but doesn't age.
Yeah.
It's all weird, but okay, that was good. That was fun.
All right. Anyway, back to it.
Back to the actual game cancellation tragedy.
Yeah.
Which game would you have preferred? The linear shooter or the open world?
The linear shooter by far. Amy Hennig, director of Uncharted 2 and 3.
I would have
it was originally...
Sorry, yeah, you finish before I...
So when she came to Visceral, I think they were working on like an open world space exploration kind of one. And then she changed it and was like... So that's sort of another one that's kind of been cancelled. She changed it to be this sort of more linear thing because when EA got the 10-year deal for the Star Wars franchise...
For the wars.
The wars.
The wars.
Yeah, in the stars. In the galaxy far, far away.
Excuse me.
They cancelled Star Wars 1313.
They did, yeah.
Which
was like a Boba Fett game, wasn't it?
Great. Because it was set in the lower levels of Coruscant. Which really cool.
Oh yeah.
Really
Coruscant.
cool.
Why did they blow Coruscant up? They blew it up in 8, didn't they? Or 7?
No, 7. Do you know what
7,
really bothered me about that scene? Why could everyone in the whole galaxy see that? They just went to loads of different planets. And
Yeah, they
everyone can
did.
see
Everyone
that.
was like,
all
oh my
these
God.
beams. That's really weird. Anyway,
Starkiller Base.
copy of
It's
Fallout.
just a big Death Star. 7 is 4, but just not quite as good.
Yeah, so I'm definitely more excited for like the more linear one. Like, just give us a
How
story.
was 8 the worst film? That's so wrong. That's so wrong. Anyway, sorry. It's just hit me again how terrible of an opinion that.
You know
that
what?
should be your controversial corner.
No, do you know what we'll do?
What?
Well, maybe we'll just do a separate podcast series of just things like this.
Okay, sorry.
Just do like a little Matt and Joe have a chat.
Type chat?
Not necessarily about games, maybe. Just to diversify.
Okay,
our
we
portfolio.
might do one day, but we need to get this off the ground first.
Anyway,
So I'll stop being
yeah.
silly.
So stop interrupting me.
Sorry.
With your
It's my favourite thing to do.
movie nonsense, because this is video games
It's
and
not
this is
nonsense.
important.
Stop tapping the table. Carry on. I've forgot what you were saying. It was going to be lower levels of Coruscant.
Yeah, so I'm more excited for the linear version. Like, give us a story. Like, Star Wars hinges on its storytelling. Like, the mythology, the lore in that universe is like what makes it. That's why fans are so like in on it. The stories in the films haven't been the best, but it's the mythology around everything that makes it. Whereas an open world Star Wars game, what is that? Like, what is that going to be like? Like,
Oh no, but the idea, did you not see what the idea behind it was, potentially?
No.
So you were going to be, it was almost kind of like 1313 in the sense that you were going to take on the role of a bounty hunter or like a Han Solo type character and just explore the galaxy and just like do quests and stuff and do missions, and maybe you would choose to be like a rebel or, you know, the Empire, depending
there's only
on what,
so
obviously,
many
when it's set.
like
But
spaces you can make in that. It's not going to be like, you can't do like open world like a GTA and have a map, because then that's one planet and one area of one planet that you're getting to explore.
yeah,
So you've got to do it like Mass Effect 1, I guess, which is like you can land on a planet and then you've got quite a small area of that planet that you can go in, which I guess could be quite
I'd
interesting.
be happy with that, because it's not as if you need to walk around all of Tatooine. You just need to walk around like Anakin's house.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, that'd be interesting.
I
But-
feel like that would, if that idea had Visceral and Amy Hennig, it would have been the better option.
Yeah, but Amy Hennig's, that's not her like strong point.
Well, no, but I know just because Uncharted's linear, then yes, you would say that perhaps a linear game would be her strong point.
And then
but-
like something that's focused on the story. I mean, you can have a focused open world, but then like if you have like loads of choice and direction, then the story starts to like lose a bit of its focus.
Not in the case of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Not at all.
Are we talking about this again?
No, sorry, I just wanted to throw that out there because you're disrespecting. Disrespecting. It's, at the end of the day, it's a tragedy. We need a good Star Wars game.
Yeah.
We haven't had a good Star Wars game since, what, like Knights of the Old Republic? Oh no, the PS2 Battlefront games were good.
Yeah.
The reboots.
I quite like Force Unleashed, it was alright.
I didn't actually play. You know what the best Star Wars games have been of recent years? Lego ones.
Yeah.
Lego Force Awakens was great fun.
I didn't play Lego Force Awakens. I just played the ones that came out on PS2, I think.
Mm.
So
What
what
the hell were they?
I want to say about this
Here we go.
is EA
Strap in.
are having a shocker.
They really are.
Absolute
Yeah.
shocker. They've got the most like valuable IP in the world. One of them.
Yeah, probably
For
top,
10 years.
top 5 or whatever.
10 years exclusively.
Yeah.
They've cancelled more games than they've released in that 10
Well, it's
years.
because they haven't released any.
They've done two
they've done
Star
the
Wars
Battlefront.
I was so excited for this first Star Wars Battlefront. I saw it. I was like, wow. Like, this is like Star Wars has come to life. No campaign, microtransactions, bullshit. I really don't like because it's made by DICE, who do Battlefield as well.
I was going to say, it should have been called Star Wars Battlefield.
But I don't like the Battlefield games.
No, I don't either.
Just because
actually.
it's a bit too big for me. Like, I'm not a good shooter person. Like, the only reason I wanted to get into that game because it's Star Wars, not because I like shooters, really.
Yeah.
Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Even worse.
I was like,
It's even more vapid.
I was like, I'm more excited for this one. Like, they're going to fix things. They've got a story that I'm really interested in. And then the reviews came out and the story's like, oh, it's like 2 hours long. It's kind of shit.
And then
and
it's
the
play
multiplayer's even
online
worse.
and buy
like,
loot boxes.
Yeah, and then they have to, literally, Disney have to tell them, like, don't do those loot boxes because our audience, who are children, are gambling now. Like, don't do it. So, literally, they've just been messing up constantly. Like, last year at E3, they announced in their press conference.
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 Hey.
That's probably a massive spike there.
That's fine.
Yeah, they announced in their press
conference.
The press conference.
Yep, that thing.
Star Wars, what is
Excuse
it?
me,
The Fallen
goodness.
Order.
Yes.
The game by Respawn, who did Titanfall.
Yes, formerly
But-
Infinity Ward.
They were obviously so desperate.
Kind of.
They went into the crowd, like it was Andrea Renee. What's good and kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
And she was hosting the whole thing. She went into the crowd, sat next to I can't remember his name from Respawn.
Vince, is it him? Was it Vince Zampella? Was it him?
I don't know.
Maybe.
You're better with names than I am.
I
And
am, apparently.
he announced it from the crowd.
Hmm.
No trailer.
Bit weird,
I think it's
yeah.
supposed to be coming out this year,
Ooh.
actually.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Well-
it's supposed to be fall this year. I mean, they've got time to release a trailer. I don't care. Like, I like trailers 6 months before the game's released. Announce the game's trailer, then release in 6 months, like Fallout 4. Yeah, so they've announced that really desperately. They've cancelled 2 Star Wars games, Visceral. They've closed Visceral down, like
Yeah,
Dead
Visceral.
Space developer.
Yeah, Dead Space.
And then
great
what was
series.
it?
I bet you
EA
never played it, though.
Montreal.
They closed Montreal?
Vancouver. Who was it? Who did the?
Oh, Vancouver were doing. They haven't closed Vancouver, but they.
Well, they closed
they've
their
stopped the
game down, yeah.
Because Vancouver makes things
and
like.
now they're like, oh yeah,
FIFA.
we're making one that's easier to make. Basically, is what they said. Because I remember when they
Well,
shut down
it'll
Amy
come out
Hennig's
quicker.
ones.
Yeah.
When they said that one was closing, I remember like it was because they couldn't monetize it. It's like a single player game. They don't want to do single player games. They have no interest in it. So it's just a bit of a. I think Disney should get out of this. Like,
Yeah, but Disney have very little interest in like the gaming market.
no, they do.
Well, Disney Infinity aside, what
No,
do they have?
no, Disney have. So what they've done with Marvel is really smart. They've decided to stop developing themselves and let people who are good at developing games have their IPs.
Yeah.
So Insomniac with Spider-Man. There's going to be an Avengers Square Enix game, and then there's the Ultimate Alliance Avengers game that's like exclusive on Switch. So that's what I think Star Wars should be doing. I'll get back to that in a sec. So I've got a few developers who I think would make a good Star Wars game.
Okay. Can I just quickly interject and say that yes, it is Vince Zampella.
Wow.
Do you know why I know that?
Why?
It's because they were Infinity Ward at the time of Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2, and
They
like I
were,
said
that's why they're Respawn, yeah.
and like I said in my top 10, I know Call of Duty 4 inside out to the point where I even remember the names of
Wow.
the game directors. 12 years on now.
So I'm still looking forward to the Fallen Order. If it's gonna have a good story mode, I'm not sure. From the sounds of it, I think you're like a young Padawan. It's
I am a young Padawan, you're right.
Third person, which is weird. Third person, I think.
Well, it'll probably have character customization. won't
Yeah,
it?
but I mean, like Respawn. What have they done third person? I don't think they have.
Titanfall is third
Titanfall's-
person, isn't it?
No, I think it's first person. Maybe it's third person when you go into a Titan. However, the movement in Titanfall, that gets me excited for like
Yeah, it's
Star Wars. You know,
very fluid.
fluid movement. That'd be good. But so I think Battlefront 3, if they're doing it, should be coming out this year, next year.
Are they? I didn't know they were doing one.
Well, I don't know. They haven't confirmed it, but I presume they are.
Well, when was
Battlefront 2 was October, November 2017.
when they closed Visceral?
Yeah. Bit of good news, bad news.
Maybe they closed Visceral because Battlefront 2 didn't sell that well because it was critically kind of
Possibly.
panned.
But it's a really interesting
Have we just
time for,
broken
like,
the Matrix?
Possibly.
We found a glitch in the EA Matrix. I mean, that's very basic journalism.
Yeah, very basic.
Maybe that one didn't make enough money for that one.
Well, no, it's an interesting time in the with EA cutting costs, and you got Activision Blizzard, cutting all their stuff. It's interesting.
It is a difficult time because people have got less expenditure to actually. I mean, when was the last time you bought a full price game? When was the last time you bought a pre-owned game?
Last time I bought a full price game was Mario Odyssey, I think, or Breath of the Wild. One of those.
So that's probably within the last year, isn't it? But not recent, shall we say?
No.
Okay, so the last time I bought a full price game was
Assassin's Creed.
I didn't buy it. I didn't buy Odyssey. Odyssey was, I mean, technically yes, but that was a gift. I bought Origins about 6 months after it came out. Before that, I was playing... Oh, Destiny 2. Destiny 2 will have been the most recent time. So that's... What's that? That was November 2017. Yeah. I think November 2017. So that's over a year ago. It's a year and 2 months, to be precise. And before that, it was probably Destiny 1. Like, I personally don't buy full-price games that often. And I know that when HMV went into administration, I was just looking up stuff into it because I'm interested in that kind of stuff. And Game, as in the shop Game, for if we have any American listeners, Game over here is essentially GameStop for you guys. Game's market share or whatever, or their revenue is like 75% the pre-owned market. How mad! Because they never even, when we were growing up,
we touched on this last week, didn't we?
I think slightly, yeah. But when we were growing up, Game didn't even do pre-owned, or they were like dipping their toe in it.
Yeah.
Kex was the place you went. I refused.
Game Station.
Yeah. Also, yeah.
I'm a Game Station.
Game Station, but exactly. And now, who is left of shops like that? It's just Game, and now they're relying on the second-hand market because they don't sell new games.
Exactly.
So I feel like from a developer's point of view, it's not a good time because yes, probably your audience is bigger, but no one can afford to be buying AAA games week in, week out, and that's unfortunately that's the rate they're kind of being released.
There is too many games.
Yeah,
and like everyone's.
I would have bought Red Dead 2 if I wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't even finished the main part of Odyssey, let alone the fact that I've now got 2 DLC packs waiting to go, and Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered that I will play. But I wanted Red Dead 2. I want to play Spyro Trilogy. What else has come out that I can't think now. But yeah, like, I don't have the time or the money to just...
Exactly. There's like that's why I've got Joe's massive pile.
Joe's massive pile, yeah. There's a return.
Come back actually.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So
that's where we draw the line.
Hemorrhoids. That's why I've got that. It's because...
Why have you got piles?
I'll tell you why I've got piles and piles and piles. Because there's too many games, and I'm interested in them all. But they're not like movies. No. They're like movies like, there's this movie, and then you can watch them in an hour and a half. You're like, I've watched that movie. But then there's also this like expectation to like
value for money,
finish the game, and like do everything in the game. That's why I'm like thinking of Platinum Horizon, because I'm like, I want to get my money's worth. Whereas, it's... I think that... I don't know, it's a weird time, and like, I think GTA 5 has been like an outlier in this whole thing, where like that moved like the value of the industry so much because like that was insanely popular.
Yeah,
so then EA are like, we can do that.
No, you
then
can't.
Activision are like, we can do that. That's why they're like, yeah, loot boxes and shit.
Yeah,
all of this, but
GTA is, yeah, you're right. It's in a league of its own.
Yeah,
in terms of sales and like quality.
The thing is about GTA 5 is when I was a kid, I used to go around someone's house and play GTA. What we did was just run around and go on a rampage.
Yep.
Now that's what every kid is doing, but they can do it with their friends online. And then they're like...
I thought you were just talking about like on the streets. Like, yeah, it's a rough... We live in a rough part of London.
We do. Just... Oh, there's some guy getting like an RPG out of his jacket. Where's he pulled that from?
Kids in the street.
Yeah. Well,
anyway, I see what you mean. RPG like GTA. Just pulling an RPG
yeah,
out.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, good joke.
Right, anyway, back to...
I was going to make a point a minute ago, and I can't remember what it... Well, it was more on like market trends and stuff. Like, so like, again, to compare games to films, I know it's difficult, but games are more of an investment, as in literally they are more money. And yeah, also your time. And the thing with a film is, yeah, you might spend a tenner to go to the cinema or a tenner on a DVD or whatever, and if it doesn't turn out great, you don't really care. You're just kind of like, oh, that wasn't very good. Oh, well, I'll never watch it again. If you spend, or you risk 50 quid on a game and you don't like it, then what? I mean, yeah, you can trade it in or you can return it, maybe. I mean, usually you can't return games, but if you go and trade it in, you'll probably get half of what you spent on it. And it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's a tough time to be a developer.
Yeah, but then like you just have to look at people doing it right, and like CD Projekt, they like did The Witcher, and they're like, we've developed this massive game. Like you're going to spend so much time in it. Not no like microtransactions or anything, not online. Just here you go, single player, open world, 60 quid. They sell ridiculous amounts. Game of the year, so much recognition, and then they're like, oh, we've got some DLC coming, which turns out to be bigger than most games.
Yeah. That
and like then people pay an extra 20 quid
massive.
for that.
Yeah.
And then like now the amount of people who are excited for
Cyberpunk
2077, that looks incredible.
That does look really good. Yeah,
so good.
That does look good. What a departure from The Witcher.
And then like people, like even the other Polish developer, I can't remember their names, but they made Dying Light. It's just
they Polish?
Yeah, something like that.
Are they?
Yeah. So
I thought they were European. I didn't think they were Polish, but yeah, Dying Light. I never actually played Dying Light.
That's in my pile.
It was one of those games that when it came out, everyone was like, "Oh, this is actually a lot better than I think we were expecting it to be."
Yeah. It was like a February game.
And it sold quite well, and it had DLC, and it was big on Twitch for a long time. Like, it was really big on Twitch. But I
love that game, but I've only played it a little bit. And I know it's weird to say something like that, but...
No, I know what you mean. I've had that with games.
Because it's got the mechanics of Mirror's Edge, which was one of my platinums.
Criminally underrated.
Such a good game.
It really isn't.
But then it's got like the zombies, and like you've got to get in at night time, otherwise you're going to get murdered. And, like the whole survival aspect.
Gonna get
like
eaten.
Bear Grylls or Ray Mears. Oh, Ray Mears.
We're not talking about Ray Mears. Why do you want to talk about Ray Mears?
I just remembered Ray Mears.
Ray Mears Bushcraft. He's like Bear Grylls, but without secret hotels.
If you don't know who Ray Mears is, he used to go to like a slightly wooded area in England, slightly overweight man, wearing some like khaki shorts and
You've got this
khakis.
Totally the wrong way around. Bear Grylls is the sham. Ray Mears is full on.
Yeah, but he goes into like a little forest. He's like, oh, you can't eat those berries. You can eat those berries. Then like he'll
eats the wrong one.
Then he'll like, oh, I'll show you how to make a fire as you're stuck in like the New Forest or something. You're surviving for your life. Bends down, does a fire, testicle pops out, and then he's like, wow.
I think you're watching a different Ray Mears. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, but then Bear Grylls goes into like, oh, I'm in the jungles and the Amazon River. I've just found a crashed hydrofoil, which is now going to make me survive for the next 2 weeks, and you can do this too. It's like, that wasn't planted, was it?
Do you know who's better than Bear Grylls?
Lost. Who?
Bear Grylls is cameraman.
I really don't know what to say to that. That's like when people say, oh, Neil Armstrong wasn't the first man on the moon. The guy who took the picture was. Controversial corner. We've never been to the moon.
Anyway, all right, let's get back on topic.
Let's get back on topic. Have you got more to say about Star Wars?
I've got some ideas.
Steady on.
Of let's say
EA,
in
are you
an
listening?
ideal world, EA can piss off. Like,
we'll say goodbye to FIFA then, mate.
No, as in EA can get out of the Star Wars deal, or Disney get out of the Star Wars deal, because it's not helping them. It's just making Disney look bad as well, because the Star Wars brand is associated with them. I'd like to see what they have done with the Marvel games, like like Insomniac had Sunset Overdrive and all this like fluid movement, looked mad good, and then like Disney are like,
Insomniac made Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, it's Xbox exclusive, but still.
I was gonna say, I remember you wanting to buy an Xbox just for that game.
It does look really good, but now Spider-Man's out, and like Disney
like 5 years later.
Disney see that, and they're like,
my prayers have been answered.
And they're like, oh, that looks good. They've got the mechanics, they've got the ability. Just, do you want to do a Spider-Man game and then like PS4 get it exclusively? Yeah, so that's the way I think the Star Wars should be going, because it'll just help Disney. And I've got a few ideas.
Well, the thing is, Disney don't. Okay, maybe it's not that they don't want to, but it's also they don't need to.
They don't need to, but like Marvel's been very fan servicey. Yeah. And like Star Wars,
the whole MCU is just
Star Wars
fan
is in
service.
danger, I think, at the moment. Like, so Star Wars 8, very contentious, divisive film.
I'm not seeing that.
You're not?
Well, no, I feel I don't. I'm not saying it was beloved.
Thumbs up if you dislike Star Wars 8. No,
thumbs up if you like
it was
Star
a
Wars
very
8
divisive film. Like, it didn't receive like universal praise. Like Star Wars 7, it wasn't like, this is amazing. Everyone was like, this is good.
It's a return to form.
Yeah,
but 8 just continued that.
Well, that's debatable, because I'm debating with it now.
But that bit in 8 when it just like when the destroyer
Yeah, I'm not saying there's not
cleaves
nice bits,
the
but I'm like,
ship in two, and it's just
I'm
like,
not gonna now say, oh, that's a great movie because that bit was nice.
but it is a good film.
It's a nice looking film.
But it's not just that. It's a
not
good story.
I don't like the story. Stop interrupting me. It's not a Star Wars.
Well, you're just wrong though.
Well, we could. Right, should we record another podcast after it just to discuss this?
Just about why you're wrong about The Last Jedi.
So, anyway, back to it. Star Wars 8, divisive film. Look it up on IMDb. It's divisive.
Metacritic.
Solo, pretty terrible.
Solo's not great. Yeah,
Not great.
Solo's not.
Star Wars Battlefront. Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Not great.
Not great. They haven't got like Star Wars Rebels finished. Yeah, that's all right. And they're sort of waiting on a new TV show. So there's no like really good momentum behind Star Wars at the moment. I don't think.
However, we touched on GTA a minute ago being the all-consuming behemoth that it is. And GTA 4 was divisive because a lot of reviewers and a lot of players criticised the fact that it
I'm not
was
saying divisive
overly...
can't be successful, but also...
No, I know, but you're saying that it's in troubled waters, and that's one of the reasons why. But then GTA 5, the literal next instalment, is the best-selling media product, I think, of all time, in terms of films,
say
games.
GTA 4 is anywhere near as divisive as Star Wars 8.
I would say it is. Because there were a lot of people who were like, this is too serious. Like, oh, I'm going to go and play Saints Row instead because I can shoot dildos.
Oh, it's good, though.
I'm sure it is, but anyway... I'm basically dismantling your points about why Star Wars 8 isn't a bad film.
Well, what I'm saying is I'm not saying everything's all bad for Star Wars. I'm just saying there could be some goodwill in like the Star Wars universe.
They just need one good game. I think the films are fine. The films are fine. It's not as if Star Wars 9 is going to come out and no one's going to go and see it.
But it's like...
Even though 8 was, yes, perhaps not the best and 7 was better and Rogue One has just ruined the franchise forever because it was too good.
Rogue One was excellent. But I mean, it's in the current time, Star Wars needs a bit of love, I think. And I've got some ideas.
Okay. So yeah, that was what you were...
Yeah.
Did you just
rudely
fart?
interrupted me. I didn't.
I heard like a little...
That was probably the leather chair.
Also, that's a spike and a half, but carry on. Your ideas. Here we go.
So,
EA, take notes.
Got a funny one. I don't think you'll get this. But I reckon if Disney were to sell the rights to a publisher, THQ Nordic, because it's funny because they're buying everything that no one wants to play.
Are they?
It's really funny. Like, they literally every week they've bought a new IP.
THQ?
And it's like old.
What did they...
So they used to be like the Saints Row publisher and stuff like that. They did... can't remember. I think maybe they did the...
I feel like they did a lot of PS2 games that I used to play.
But then they went out of business.
Right.
I think they did a lot of movie games and like maybe like the Jackass game and like the Top Gear game, stuff like that.
The Jackass game on PSP.
So they were very like double A developer.
Yeah,
but
double
then
A.
A company, I can't remember what they're called, sort of bought up their IP and then they decided to change their name to THQ Nordic.
Right, it's presumably they're now headquartered in what?
I think
what's it called? Scandinavia somewhere.
Yeah, they're Scandinavian.
It was acquired by Nordic Games. Oh, in Vienna, so Austria.
Okay.
Is Austria part of Scandinavia? I don't think it is. It's just Denmark and then the other three, isn't it?
So far it's like Germany, Luxembourg, France.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they bought basically all the IPs like of just really, really average games.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if there's a list.
So that's your joke.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a list now of
no,
THQ
that's just THQ games.
Oh, they made the Bugs Life game on Game Boy Color. What else have they made? So that's your joke answer, is that you want THQ Nordic to...
Yeah.
They made the Company of Heroes games. They weren't bad.
Just a bit of banter.
I made Croc. Oh, for Game Boy Color. They didn't make it for PlayStation. Destroy All that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
they
bought Destroy All Humans. They've got Darksiders.
Yeah,
they've got the Red Faction franchise. I think they published...
Red Faction? When was the last Red Faction? Jesus.
Red Faction Armageddon 2011.
They made Homefront as well.
Yeah,
that
so
probably
really,
did them in.
Really double A games, like really middle of the road.
Yeah, Homefront should have been good.
Yeah, they did re-release Red Faction Guerrilla, which is a really good game actually. I forgot about that game. I loved that game.
I quite liked one of the Red Factions, but I can't remember which one.
They re-released it on PS4 recently, and it was Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered.
Ah, very good, because it's set on Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some people probably won't know that. Oh my god, look how many SpongeBob games these people have made. So it starts with SpongeBob's Atlantis SquarePantis. Oh, that's fantastic. And it finishes with SpongeBob SquarePants Underpants Slam. Christ, try saying that when you're hammered. There's a good 15 SpongeBob games there.
Back to seriousness.
Yeah, so what are your other ideas?
So my idea is games. EA are still allowed to make games.
Are they? That's nice of you.
For Star Wars. Yeah. I'm telling these corporates.
EA, you carry on.
Yeah, you can do it. No, so they're, in my head, they're still open to make Star Wars games, but they're just not the exclusive owners now.
Mm-hmm.
So BioWare is my first pick. Pretty obvious. They did...
Mind blank.
KOTOR?
Did they do KOTOR? I don't think they did.
They did a Star Wars... Oh, God, I should have looked this up beforehand.
Yeah, you probably should have done.
Oh, my mind's gone blank.
We're the least professional people in the podcasting world.
Yeah.
KOTOR, again, hang on, while you're doing this, I'll just fill in the gaps. So KOTOR, for those that don't know, is... When were they released? Early 2000s, maybe?
Yeah.
Star Wars games called Knights of the Old Republic. And they were very good games. They were better than the films that were coming out around the same time. They were universally acclaimed. They were just good games, and for some reason they stopped getting made. And then we have things like Battlefront. But yes, here we go.
It was BioWare who made.
It was. Oh, okay.
Knights of the Old Republic, and then they did the PC MMO in 2011, the Old Republic, which I think is along a similar vein.
Never even heard of that. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's an obvious pick. They've done Knights of the Old Republic before. Their Mass Effect franchise, their sci-fi thing is a bit.
Yeah, that's a good show.
They're doing a new Dragon Age next, but I don't know. Maybe instead of doing a new Mass Effect, let's let Mass Effect go a little bit.
Let it chill for a while.
And just do something else. And they've got the storytelling. They've done all that before. Maybe their gameplay is not necessarily particularly the Mass Effect gameplay is a bit clunky, but they've with Anthem, the game that's coming out in March, that looks quite a fluid game, a good shooter. You could you're basically jetpacking around that. You could be that could be a Boba Fett game or something.
Yeah, it's true. You could take the mechanics and just pretty easily transition.
So that's a pretty obvious one.
Okay, yeah, good shout.
Next one, Guerrilla
Games. Yeah,
Killzone and Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yep.
So say if you wanted to make
an open world
Star Wars game.
Yep.
I think they've got that storytelling. They do all the check boxes and things to do, stuff like that. But then they've also did the Killzone franchise, so they've got that sort of gritty side to them, which I think they could take advantage of.
Killzone is a solid franchise. I know neither of us are particularly interested in it, but I can appreciate that it's
Killzone
a solid
2
shooter.
Is why I got a PS3.
Is it?
Didn't like it though. I just looked at videos on YouTube and I was like, this looks sick.
I did that with Turok when they remastered Turok in 2010 or whatever, and it was shite. And Haze, do you remember Haze?
Yeah,
that was the yellow
person.
guy, and his thing was cracked. This shield helmet thing. That game looked like it was. Excuse me, that it was going to be amazing, and it just was terrible. And I've never been more disappointed about a game before in my life. Sorry, knocking you off track again. Next idea.
I think this one's a good one.
Okay.
So,
what about the last two? Were they not good?
No, this one's a really good one.
Oh, a really good one.
So,
hold your breath.
Ubisoft Montreal.
I like where your head's at.
Who made For Honor?
Mm-hmm.
The fighting in that game, the sword fighting. Imagine that as a dueling.
Have you played For Honor?
I haven't.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. It's awful. I've got it. It's terrible. I played it for about 2 hours and I'm never touching it again.
Well, people play it.
The way that the sword fighting actually works, right? It sounds nice on paper, but it's so clunky to actually play. It's horrific. So certain buttons change your stance. So you're either, I'm now going to demonstrate this for you, unfortunately, or rather, fortunately, no one can actually see me doing this except from you. But you're forward facing, or you're defending to the right, or you're defending to the left. And you've got to work out where your opponent's defending. So where their weak spot is. So I can change my stance and now I can hit them on the right because they're not blocking because they're blocking their left, so I'll hit their right or whatever. But then if they start attacking you and you're mid-change stance, you're going to get hit. and like it's so slow, and like they swing the swords at like 2 miles an hour, and it doesn't feel like it ever actually does any damage. Like, it's a freaking sword. If you smash someone hard enough, especially the way these characters are doing it, they're full on like really swinging it, like slowly but with a lot of power. If you hit someone on the arm with a sword like that, you're going to take their arm off, and it just doesn't happen. Their health bar just goes like ding, and it's just like that ding was an implication of like 10% or whatever.
So you've torn apart that.
It's a shit game.
Right.
I'm really sorry.
Well,
but
anyway,
For Honor is crap. It's pants.
Anyway,
It's
so
gaga.
my thinking behind that.
It's gaga. Eh? Sorry, still learning Spanish.
My thinking behind that
See.
is that. Una mesa para cuatro, por favor.
Una mesa. Una mesa.
My thinking behind that is not a table for four, please. My thinking behind that is like a dueling Star Wars game. Something that's not like
Okay, but
one button. That is a lightsaber sound. Thank you. I am a. Is it cartographer? Is that a person who does the sound?
I don't think so. Is it?
No, that's maps.
Yeah, cartographers make maps.
Anyway.
A lightsaber sounds like this. It goes. Yeah, you sound more like a star speeder. Do you know that apparently Ewan McGregor is at you breaking down?
That's a pod racer.
Oh, pod racer. Yeah, apparently Ewan McGregor, because obviously the lightsabers aren't. They're not actually. Yeah. It's just like a stick.
He made the sounds.
He was making the sounds. They had to dub it out. How
Star
funny!
Wars podcast.
It really has been. I mean, we kind of knew it was going to be though, because. Is that the end of your ideas?
No,
I'm sorry to just tear apart the idea about whoever made Ubisoft
I was thinking
Montreal.
them or Warhorse.
What did they make?
They made, I think they're called Warhorse. They made Kingdom Come Deliverance, which also had.
I've heard of it.
It was like a really like on point. I think they're Czech. They really on point, like historically based European medieval times, like castle sword fighting battle game. But like the sword fighting's like sort of you have to actually do it rather than like pressing a button. That's what I was thinking in my head there.
Basically, so what you're saying is you want more input in the actual fighting rather than just hammering square.
Well, these are. It doesn't mean like that one has to be a really big game or anything. That one's like the Star Wars dueling game, and then you have another one which is the Star Wars single player game. Okay. You have another one which is Star Wars open world game. I'm sort of putting these two together. So Monolith, who made the Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor, Lord of the Rings
they were
games,
alright, weren't they?
And Rocksteady. The main reason behind this, not necessarily the gameplay,
but
the way the handling of IP. Like, they've both handled like classic franchises well.
Yeah.
And like they could implement their gameplay styles. I'd quite like to see like the Batman fighting style, even though I'm terrible at it, in a Star Wars game. That'd be quite interesting. See what they can do. Maybe with a lightsaber, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. That's probably a better idea than someone like For Honor. Well, but I'll let you off that because you haven't played For Honor.
Well, you know what? You didn't come up with any ideas. You just shut your mouth. My last one.
I didn't realise I was meant to.
Yeah, you should be quiet during this podcast. You should just be.
I'll just press the buttons.
You should be not seen and not heard. It should be
children
the Joe show.
Children should be not seen and not heard.
No, you should be not seen and not heard.
No, it's the Arrested Development thing, isn't it? It's the school that Buster goes to. Children should be... Yeah, because the expression is children should be seen but not heard, isn't it? But he goes to a school where the teacher's horrible and they're like, children should not be seen nor should they be heard.
Today.
Well, it's been a slow week for news.
It's just because you're bricking it still about your tattoo.
Stop reminding me.
My last one...
I don't know why.
...is an interesting one.
They've all been interesting.
Housemarque.
I don't know what that is. You know more about developers than me.
So they made Super Stardust Ultra, Resogun, Matterfall.
I know what Resogun is.
Alienation.
Hang on, no, is Resogun the one where you're like a little spaceship flying around like a 3D?
Like an arcade game. Yeah, you're like the sphere.
All right, where are you going with this?
And Dead Nation, I think it's called. I think that was.
I didn't like Dead Nation.
First ever PS Plus game, I think.
Yeah, it was. I didn't like Dead.
But I'm thinking more towards like the Resogun type gameplay. They have said because they've
my wife. Yep.
They were like the pioneers, or well, not pioneers, but I mean, they were like the leaders in this kind of arcade.
They revitalised.
The
arcade scene.
A good word.
Thank you.
But
along with the guy that made Towerfall.
All their games are like getting like 10 out of 10s and stuff. but they're just not selling because, like, I mean, I don't really want to play them, to be honest.
No, I don't either.
It's interesting that people enjoy that, like those kind of games. I'm not really big on the arcade scene, but they recently said, well, no, it's PS4. I think they're all PS4 exclusive.
But I feel like indie developers are doing well because of PC players, but that's another topic for another day.
So they recently said we're not doing arcade games anymore because as many like fans as we have, we're just not getting the money.
Fair enough.
So that's fair enough, whatever. But if they were to do like some kind of Resogun type Star Wars game, like you're in a little ship, just something like small like that, like with the gameplay that's getting such praise, I just think it'd be a very interesting idea. And
I like the idea. I don't think, considering you've come up with these ideas to somewhat salvage the Star Wars gaming face, I don't think that's enough. That's not enough. That's nowhere near enough.
No, I'm not saying this is the only one who's developing it. I'm saying, say if all of these, one a year from each developer came out or something.
So I just live to annoy you and everyone.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I'm an antagonist. No, I'm sorry. That wouldn't sell. No one would be interested, and it would look like a cash grab. It would look like, indie games are doing well at the moment. Let's just slap our Star Wars name on one and get some guy in his basement.
This
isn't
to code just going to be. No, they're not. Indie.
I realise you're trying to put yourself in the shoes of EA and have like a roadmap of Star Wars games, but
no, I'm not.
I'm just taking the piss.
I'm saying EA aren't involved anymore. I'm saying Disney are involved.
Oh, okay, and you're dishing it out to.
Yeah, you
did say that at the start.
Like, I don't know. 6 months down the line, like the first game is done by Housemarque, who are by no means an indie developer.
Right.
They just do arcade games. There's a difference.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You should have seen the look I just got.
If looks could kill.
So what are you looking at now?
I'm just seeing what time we're on.
How long have we been going for?
1 hour and 19.
We can go for a bit longer. Are you done on the Star Wars motif?
I think so. I think we can.
Okay. I mean, I don't have too much to say about it other than the fact that I agree that we're due a good Star Wars game. We've been waiting. Well, I can't even remember when the PS2 Battlefronts came out. Was that 2007? Was the last PS2 Battlefront? I want to say.
No, before that.
Nah, hell no.
2003.
Hell nah. There was one in 2007. I am maybe not 2007, but later than that. It's time for another bit of googling on the Top Chat podcast. I can't type with one hand. Star Wars Battlefront PS2.
No, I reckon 2004.
One came out in 2004. Because there was another one, wasn't there?
Yeah, Battlefront
Star
2.
Wars Battlefront series. Let's have a look. Let's see when they came out. Battlefront 2, second installment 2005. What?
Yeah.
What am I thinking of?
I have no idea.
Maybe I'm just getting old. I'm just getting hella old.
Yeah. I just think it's basically what I'm saying. What I'm going to round off with is that the deal with EA and Disney was signed in 2013 for 10 years. We're 6 years in.
Jesus.
And there's 2 games. And maybe a mobile game or 2. And
but who cares?
A game that's supposed to be coming out
by Criterion. That's really weird. They made like Burnout Paradise and that. Why are they doing this? Maybe I didn't know that. Maybe that's why Battlefront isn't great, because it's being made by a developer that does car games.
Well, that's where the god that is Sean Murray used to
work.
work.
Oh yes, did he? Well, it's Criterion.
He worked at Criterion. Then
he should have stayed.
Then start his own company.
Yeah, well, he shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, they've won an award.
Hello Games. What have they won an award for? Biggest deception?
No, the
biggest liars.
Biggest rejuvenation or something, or
the biggest turnaround.
Something like that.
Wow, that's a backhanded compliment if I've ever heard one. So yeah, that was basically what we wanted to talk about for most of this episode, and we've successfully done that, I would say. So yeah, 2 Star Wars games cancelled.
Me every 2 seconds.
Well, I like to piss you off and tell you that you're wrong, especially about The Last Jedi. Yeah, 2 Star Wars games have been cancelled. We're due a good one. And yeah, is there a film coming out this year? Is there a Star Wars film coming out this year?
Yeah,
there should be. It should be episode 9.
Should we get? I presume we get a trailer like May the 4th, something like
that. Yeah. Is that when they've come out previously, May the 4th? I feel like they're missing a trick if they've not.
I don't know. Or there's Star Wars Celebration or something, I don't know.
So we'll move on now, I guess, shall we? I think we discussed this on week 1, but we've got ideas for features for the podcast, or like, features isn't the right word. Or is it? Is it the right word?
Segments.
Much like an orange.
Segments.
Recurring segments. We've got one that's titled Memory Card, where we're going to go back through our deepest memories and just kind of chat about old games that we like. And we should probably, going forward, pick one that we both like. Because how much do you know about SSX3?
Not a lot. But what I was thinking with Memory Card anyway, it's not necessarily just a game. It's like your memories attached to the game as well.
Oh, I like that. A bit of a personal...
Yeah.
I feel it's like everyone's involved in our planning meeting now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, going forward...
I mean, this is essentially our planning meeting when we don't
When we
really
actually hit
see
record.
each other much outside of this.
Aw,
See you in the kitchen,
See you
making
in the
your
kitchen.
Choco Shreddies, which I'm mad jealous of.
I've run out. It's alright, I'm getting a delivery this weekend.
Are you?
Yeah. Courtesy of Mama. Oh, that makes me sound like really spoiled or something. She's coming to visit and she said she's going to bring me some Shreddies. That's basically...
That's lovely.
Yeah. So yeah, going forward, this will be a better segment. But for now, I kind of wanted to just talk about... Oh, well, I've already spunked it. SSX3. I was going to give it like a mysterious intro, but I've already said it. Because it was in my honourable mentions for my top 10.
What does it stand for? Snowboarding Supercross.
I don't know. And in preparation for today, I looked into it and I couldn't find it. I don't know. I don't know what it stands for. But there have been 5 SSX games, and only one of them is numbered, and that is SSX3. So there's SSX, just like the first one, which I guess you could say is numbered because it's just the first one.
Maybe it's Super Snowboarding 10.
No.
Like Roman numerals.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, it does, but
sense.
oh no, S isn't a Roman numeral, is it? Oh, it's like MCLXIV.
Something like
D? I think there's a D in there somewhere. Yeah, so it's SSX, SSX Tricky, 3, On Tour, what was the one after Tour? What was the one after On Tour? I don't know, I never had it. And then they rebooted it in 2012, and I don't think anyone really paid it any attention. And now Steep is out. Have you finished downloading Steep?
I haven't downloaded it at all yet.
Oh, mine has been downloading. You know, I mentioned it last week. I said, it's downloading at the moment. Well, our internet is so shit, it's still downloading. Because, yeah, we get like 1 megabyte a second.
That's why we have to upload like 3 days after we record.
Yeah, literally is. When does our internet run? I swear it's due to
It should be, yeah.
Yeah, we need to get better internet. Yeah, SSX3 was the first snowboarding game I ever had. It was obviously first SSX I ever had. It was... I don't really remember why I got it, but I think it was obviously during the time when I wasn't paying for games because I was like 10 years old when it came out. It was on PS2. I think my stepdad probably just picked it up in Ross Records in Portsmouth, which is like an independent CEX basically. He used to get stuff from there all the time, and occasionally he'd just bring back a game for me and my sister. And one day he brought back SSX3, and it was a bit like, what is this? Like, never played SSX at that time. I probably thought SSX 1 or 2, but yeah, whatever they were called, Tricky and whatever. Never played one before, didn't know anything about snowboarding, didn't know anything about skiing, but oh my god, did I fall in love with this game, to the point where when I was like, I don't know what's wrong with my throat today. When I was going back through, I was just doing a bit of research for this the other day, just looking into it and like looking at old screenshots and YouTube videos and like going through the characters. And there's a character in it called Vigo, who I used to play as all the time. And as soon as I saw like the thumbnail of the picture of this guy, like all these memories just came flooding back, and I could suddenly remember. I can't remember like the names of the tracks, but I can remember what it looked like. And there was like a Chinese kind of themed one. There was one that was set in like, it was like a city, but on a mount, it was almost like Coruscant, to be honest. It was like kind of blue and yellow high-rise city. But so you literally know nothing about this game?
No.
Well, it was set on Anne Mountain. Bit of Clarksonism there for you, Anne Mountain. A fictional one, of course. And the premise was that it was just an enormous, like ridiculously big mountain, and there were tracks all over it that you could race. But you could also, which looking back I think is quite ahead of its time, you could free roam from top to bottom. Wow. Obviously you couldn't just free roam consistently because you can't really snowboard uphill. So you had to, if you wanted to free roam, you either had to go from the top or you have to just pick a track and you just go. And the way it would work was you start free roaming, you like follow a track. You can stop and like pick up a race and do a race while you're on your way down, or you can do like a trick event or something. Then you would go through like a little like just random area which would link one track to another, and then you're on another track. And thinking about it, is it just me or is that not kind of revolutionary for its time?
When
we're
was it
talking.
out?
I think
PS2?
PS2, like early PS2.
Yeah.
I think we're talking 2004.
I mean, wow, Need for Speed Underground 2 was a similar kind of thing, if you think about it. Like
2003.
So you...
It came out on my birthday. Maybe that's why I got it.
Wow.
Maybe that's why.
So, yeah, Need for Speed Underground 2 was like the open world. You go find your events and stuff.
I suppose,
It's a similar kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, or when I was thinking about this the other day, it seems kind of mind-blowing that you could literally just free roam a mountain on a snowboard, and then you could like do races and tricks and stuff. And there was this thing called like the adrenaline meter, and when you filled that up, you could do an Uber trick. Wow. And it was just sick. It was just the most fun. Great soundtrack, like brilliant soundtrack. This really good mix of like punky songs. Like it had, I know they're not a good band, but it had things like Yellow Card and MXPX mixed with like Royksop, and then just EDM stuff. Well, not EDM. Just drum and bass kind of stuff, I would guess, or just like house music. Just a really good soundtrack, really good game. Don't really know what I want to say about it, to be honest, other than
fair enough.
It got re-released, kind of, or like remastered on something again that I think we talked about last week, that Xbox arcade thing where you can play old games, whatever that's called. You knew the name of it.
What?
The thing that's like PS Now, but it's on Xbox.
Oh, Xbox Game Pass?
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
I think late last year, this SSX3 got re-released on that.
Oh, maybe they did it backwards compatible.
Or that, yeah.
Yeah.
But either way, if you're listening to this and you have an Xbox, just get it. It's a really good game. And then I got SSX on tour, which came out, I think, a year or two afterwards, and it wasn't as good. The art style was really... It was weird. It was meant to look like the whole thing had been drawn in someone's, like, notepad.
Yeah.
Just scribbled while you're in class or whatever, and you get bored and you start doodling. That was the art design. And it was kind of cool, but for my money...
We've sort of, like, gone past the extreme sports stage, haven't we? I remember...
There aren't any extreme sports games
what was
at
it?
all.
Dave Mirra BMX? Was that it? Is it his name?
Matt Hoffman.
Matt Hoffman, maybe. Who's Dave Mirra?
Dave Mirra. I don't know. How are you spelling that? I'll do a bit more
I think
Googling.
it's like M...
Is it Mirra?
Yeah.
I feel like he's a...
Or then maybe it's Rally?
Rally driver, yeah. Oh no, it's freestyle BMX. Oh, well done.
Hey!
Where have you plucked that from?
I don't know. That's in the back of my mind. Then, like, obviously, there's no skating games.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's no Tony Hawk anymore.
Well, actually, there is a new skating game coming out. It's like by some indie people. It looks more similar to Skate. Excuse me.
Skate was a good game. I liked Tony Hawk's
called
Underground. No, American Wasteland. Tony Hawk's American Wasteland was great.
Tony Hawk's Underground was the game. Shout out.
Project 8 was quite good as well. It had really creepy characters in it. Project 8.
Shout out to Seb.
Sebby. There he is again.
Because me and him, we used to play that game 2-player, and we used to go on like the map.
Are we talking about Skate?
No, Tony Hawk's
Underground, yeah.
Underground 1. And
throwback.
That would be a game that was in my top 10. I always forget, because I look through my trophy list mainly for my top
I forgot
10.
about the Warriors.
So I forgot about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We used to like...
It wouldn't have been
made our own maps and stuff, and then we used to sort of like role play in Tony Hawk's. It was quite fun. Yeah. I missed Tony Hawk's games. I think the one after that I had was Tony Hawk's American Skateland, which was the DS version. It was cell shaded.
Oh, was it?
Really good. I lost it though when I lost my DS.
I liked American Wasteland.
Segway!
Segue to what?
If you're done with your SSX.
You
to
carry
my
on, mate.
controversial opinion.
Oh, here we go.
Pick up
the microphone and get ready to drop it. But don't actually, of course. But figuratively.
Fucking launch it.
Controversial corner. We're going to take a sultry sidle down the juxtaposing... Oh, why did I choose a J? That's a terrible... Controversial corner. Go on.
We should think of a good intro for that. Because
I'm trying to Richard Hammond it, and
that Richard Hammond was really
alliteration.
good. I liked that one. You drop your keys down the drain of chat or something like that in the
Oh,
Grand
what,
Tour,
the new
episode
Grand
1.
Tour?
Yeah.
Actually, we could talk about that because there's a game with it. Have you? I don't know anything about the game.
I
Grand
think the
Tour
game
game.
looks interesting.
It's the premise that you follow them around the series.
Essentially, so like
You start in Detroit.
I watched the first bit, and it's like the intro of episode 1, season 1 of the Grand Tour. As like Jeremy comes out the BBC, and like then he starts driving through like LA, and then he's driving on the motorway, and then like Hammond and May come either side of him,
Yeah.
and then like so that turns into like a race in a game.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's pretty cool. And like then with all their challenges and stuff.
What's it out on?
PS4, Xbox, and PC, I think.
How much is it?
£13.
That's
Something
pretty
like
cheap.
that. And then like so you can play season 1 through season 2, and then each week season 3 has a new bit coming out. That's quite interesting. But
It's
then
like
it's
an
like,
episodic
but then I'm
game.
like, I remember these kind of games. Like I was actually speaking to Seb, I think, again the other day.
Another shout out. That's 2 in 5 minutes.
Well, he's our biggest fan, to be
He
honest.
is. Sebby.
Sebby.
Does he even know what that is? Like,
No.
He has no idea.
Webby.
Now that is a story, but yeah.
Because we were talking about like I think had like the Jackass game.
Yeah.
And like then there was like a Top Gear game we had, and Pimp My Ride game. Just things like that.
Oh,
When you get into like
yeah,
a
I remember
TV
the
show,
Pimp
and
My Ride game.
That's the thing with the Fruit Ninja film. You see these things as a kid, and then you see them as a game, and you're like, yeah, I can play it.
I can go and watch it in the cinema with Mummy and Daddy, and Daddy can have a sleep.
Like because
The Jackass game wasn't bad.
if like right now, if they released like Pimp My Ride game, then I'd know it's going to be shit.
Oh yeah, of course it will.
But you don't realise that when you're like a kid, and even though it's like an 18.
Oh no, I see what you mean. Extended metaphor. You threw me off with the pause then. I
Anyway.
thought you were genuinely proposing that. I was like,
That was
what?
a terrible smack. Controversial.
Yeah. A sultry sidle. I quite like that. A sultry sidle down the. What's another word for like juxtaposing? Down the. I can't just say controversial again. Down the. A sultry sidle down. No, it's another J, you nonce.
The juxtaposing
A sultry
jeopardy.
sidle down controversial corner.
Anyway,
there we go.
let's
Go on.
try it.
Here we go. Mic drop time.
The Nintendo DS is the worst handheld ever.
Are you including the 3DS in that?
Yes. And thank you very much for listening this week.
That's not even upset me. That's just confused me. Because I have a 3DS, and yeah, like I said the other week, I like it so much I don't know where it is. But I don't understand how you've come to that conclusion. It's been one of the most supported consoles of the last 10 years, like in terms of developers. It's got new games now, like still. Okay, we're going to discuss this off
I'm
mic.
gonna leave one little thing in there.
Okay, yeah, go on. One little dingleberry.
I'm left-handed.
So,
any game that required me to use the stylus as I played
you
meant I had to
fudged.
take my hand off the directional pad because I can't use my right hand to like accurately.
Yeah, fled.
So like everyone is designed for people to use the directional and then use their right hand.
that's actually a really good point.
So I never enjoyed it, and the graphics terrible, and all the games suck, apart from Brain Training and Nintendogs and Mario
And
Kart.
all the Pokemon games that came out on it.
Yeah, well, they're all the same game. Anyway,
And Professor Layton. They're not
Anyway,
all the same.
just before we go,
Now that's an even worse opinion. That's a terrible
I'm
opinion.
just pissing you off now. Before we go, we are now on Podbean.
Yeah, we are on Podbean.
So for those who aren't interested in the YouTube side of things, because I know it's difficult listening to a podcast on YouTube, we do have Podbean, which I think is just Top Chat Podcast.
Yeah. If you just search Top Chat, we should come up.
Yeah.
We're still working on Spotify and Apple and all the.
Should we do like a Japanese apology?
Jesus. Or like was it a Japanese or Chinese politician who was just like,
I think it's Japanese. It was like,
that was hysterical.
it's like, yeah.
Banging the table.
And like the Sony apology during the outage, and everyone bows.
Yeah, it's because they're so respectful.
Yeah.
They clean up stadiums after the World Cup.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Arigato. Yeah, we're working on it. I don't know. It's my job, so I should be apologising.
Yeah,
this
you
is my
should.
end of things. But I'm basically being completely shafted by 2 or 3 different hosting services, and I'm yet to find one that I actually like who give you decent information. So
we could look it up, but again,
I promise you, I've been trying to fix this since we did episode 1, and I still can't find anywhere, because I thought, Podbean will be a good one to actually host on, because it seems fairly intuitive, and it seems blah, 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 blah. And I will continue to upload to them, because we only need 5 episodes, and we're getting there. And it is relatively cheap. So maybe, I don't know, maybe you have to give us a couple of months, and then we'll appear on something.
I did see that we had 2 listens on Podbean.
Yeah, I think they're
and
both.
then last time
they're both me.
Our total views across episode 1 and episode 2 was 69.
Start dabbing, everyone.
So
yeet, yeet, yeet.
Don't listen to those anymore, because 69 is a very nice number. Don't listen to this one. There. Just leave it here. We're done
Leave it
now.
at 69. Yeah. Why have we made this? I'll delete this.
No, actually, in all seriousness, because episode 2 has almost taken over episode 1 on YouTube already. So,
it's the climb.
Episode 3, people. Watch that shit. Get it above episode 1. Gonna do some clickbaity titles and stuff.
Are we? Maybe.
I don't know.
We might do. Anyway, that'll do it for now.
How to save Star Wars.
How to save Star Wars. Or how not to save Star Wars, as I think, because you didn't really come up with anything good apart from maybe.
Well, you come up with one.
Who was the one that I said wasn't a bad idea? The ones that made that game that's good.
Rocksteady.
Yeah, Rocksteady. I think that's your best idea. Give it to Rocksteady.
Gorilla.
EA, fuck off. Thanks for listening, everyone. Next week, we're going to talk about... We've actually got a plan for next week, haven't we?
Have we?
Yeah, I sent it to you earlier. We're going to talk about games we'd like to see. Not scenes we'd like to see, games we'd like to see.
Okay.
On a similar motif to this one, where Star Wars has been cancelled, and of course we'd like to see a Star Wars game. But then rather than just focusing on cancelled games, we're going to talk about games that we would just genuinely like to see made. So,
we actually have a plan for next week.
We do. For example...
That's incredible.
Actually, no, I won't give an example. I'm going to leave it hanging there. So that's next week.
Next Tuesday? I presume we're recording next Tuesday again.
Probably.
We're trying to upload Thursday
or Friday.
It's coming up like Thursday nights at the moment, but
it went up at 2 a.m. No, it's our internet. It went up at 2 a.m. last Friday. Anyway, thanks everyone for listening and making it this far. As usual, or as always, bye for now.
Bye for now.